So this is part 2 of the hike out to Mount Misery on the Pachaug and Nehantic Trail. So enjoy. This is the Heron marsh, not too far in from the road, probably only a quarter mile or so hike into here on the trail. They usually keep it pretty nice and mowed, but it's out of control up here today. It's typically a good spot to chill out for a little bit. There's some rocks to sit on and stuff if you want to take a break here. Enjoy the scenery. It's also probably a good place to go fishing right here in this hole. There might be some good fishing there. But from here on out, we're going to be further and further away from the road as we head towards Mount Misery. So look at this little dude. Whoop! We found this little dude. He's a little toad. Little toad out on the Pachaug Trail. So this is where the Pachaug and Nehantic trails connect. The Nehantic trail goes off this way, which we're going to go down just a little ways to the dry reservoir shelter to take a break. Then when we're done doing that, we're going to head back down the Nehantic and Pachaug trails together out to Mount Misery. But we're going to head to the dry reservoir shelter right now to take a little break. This here, I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but there's a lump of land here. This used to be a dam, probably back in the farm days for a farm that was out here. As you know, most of the state forest in Connecticut was old farmland that was either taken by the state when those people died or bought and turned into forest land. And now we all have this great state forest to hike in and enjoy the great outdoors. But there's a nice little bridge here. This would be your water supply if you were camping at the dry reservoir shelter. This is the old dam here. I've looked on the other side in the past. There's really no pond back there, just kind of freely flows through this dam. But don't take my word for it, come out and see for yourself. So this is the dry reservoir shelter here, place you can camp. I believe you have to reserve this to camp here. You do that through the state website, I believe, Connecticut state website. And you know, cool little spot. You got a nice fire pit, nice place to set up your sleeping bag and, you know, sleep for the night, camp out for the night, do some real camping. But we're gonna stop here. We're gonna chill here for a little bit, take a little break. This is the dry reservoir shelter. It's just off the Nehantic trail, very close to the Pachaug Nehantic intersection there. And after this, it's off to Mount Misery. So we've made it out here to Fire Tower Road, and Mount Misery is just up ahead here. If you don't want to hike the whole thing that you just seen, you can actually park right at the end of this road here, and I bet it's not more than a quarter-mile hike to the top of Mount Misery. So you don't want to, if you want to skip all the other stuff, you can just take the quick way up. But we enjoy hiking, so we took how far are we now? Like 3 miles, 3.5 miles? 3.60. Yeah, so we're about 3.5 miles into our hike now from where we started on part 1. That means we're about 2 miles in from 138. And like I said, probably I'm gonna guess a quarter to less than a half a mile left to go till we get to the top of Mount Misery. I think at this point, it's such a short hike from this little driving area, little parking area, that maybe I'll just do it in video here instead of the time warp, so you can actually get a little bit more perspective on what this cool little section of trail is like. It's rocky, ledgy, it's steep, and you gain altitude pretty quickly to get to the top. Nice little climb up Misery Hill. Woo. This is the top of Mount Misery. This is where we end our hike today. Nikki, how far did we go? 3.79. So 3.7 miles, 3.79 miles, so almost 3.8 miles from where we started on part 1 down near Pachaug Pond. This is Mount Misery, and there was once a fire tower up here. There's still evidence of the fire tower here, still in the stone. Tie down points. They would have been up there watching out in the forest, looking for smoke, making sure there's no forest fires. If you look around up here, you can find some more of these pins hanging around for where the tower used to be. There's one here. And there's one here. The fire tower's long since gone. I wasn't around to see what it looked like, but it's no longer here. The other cool thing about Mount Misery is the Misery Hill marker. That is also up here at the top of Mount Misery. So the fire tower, the marker, the view, a lot of cool stuff to see up here on top of Mount Misery. This will conclude part 2 of hiking out to Mount Misery from the original start of the Pachaug Trail on Latham Drive in Griswold.